deck building your way in galaxy far, far away to dominate the rich resource planet in Suriya the Last Horizon. And hi everyone, it's Stella
and Tarrant here from Meeple University.
Welcome to our one-round playthrough where we play a few rounds of the game. This is Suriya, and this game is published by Hexa House and designed by Zemaki, and it plays 2 to 4 players.
Yes, this is a 2 to 4 player war game. It's a very compact, contained war game, and it has a deck building engine.
And check out the crowdfunding. Also, if you are interested, we'll link it down below in the video description. And if you enjoy this video later, please like, subscribe, and comments if you find this useful. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to give you a quick overview of the game, and we're going to play as we continue to explain the game.
So this is our setup, plenty going on here. We each have this very large console of our potential units. We're going to come into play and battle over this rather compact map. This is the 2-player layout, so you'll have a larger map. And the game actually begins in setup because this layout here, we each have a headquarters on our side of the map, but otherwise we've drafted to build this up. So there's a key strategic placement of these different types of terrains, which we're not showing you in this video, but this is the outcome here. So you can see there's mines and lagoons and things all over the place, as well as some at elevation where you have a tactical advantage in combat. The game is largely driven by deck building, so we each start with a standard 7-card deck to begin, some very basic cards in here. Each turn we'll be playing these cards and they will do things like deploying our units onto the map or deploying bases. And then separate to that, once our units are on the map, we'll be using these command tokens to move them. So for example, had I deployed a couple of my units here into my headquarters, I could spend a command token on that squad to move it, or use it to attack somebody, or even go mining for minerals. Minerals are these little crystals you'll see here. This is the main currency in the game. Particularly playing all of your cards is going to cost you minerals. And the aim of the game is to expand and put bases down on the board. Each of us has 3 bases which can be deployed, and it's very important to deploy them. So a headquarters counts as a first base. All of these subsequent bases, as we get them out, they're going to give us more command tokens, letting us take more actions. They have some individual powers on them that get unlocked, so that's very powerful. And the aim is to be the first one to have built 4 bases and held them until the start of your turn, or the first to destroy the opponent's main base, the headquarters.
This is a bit of an engine building as well, with the powers and the more actions that you do once you build extra bases.
Yeah. Every turn we're going to get to add 1 card to our deck for free. There are some standard cards here in the center of the table, and then each of us has a unique deck for our faction. We have 3 cards available. Normally this is behind a screen, by the way. We're not showing the screen there just because of how we're sitting, but normally there's a screen, so this stuff's not visible. You can add these cards 1 per turn, or sweep them out and see more of your deck, because we each have a very large deck of technology cards, and that gives you a lot of flexibility to set the tactics and strategies within your faction that you want to set.
And some of them are our faction-specific power, which is activated by the cards in here.
Yes, you'll see that Stella has some tokens here that I don't, barricades and landmines. Those are things that you can get onto the board to help you, which, I don't have access to.
All right, Tarrant, are you ready to be destroyed?
I'm ready to battle. We'll see how it goes.
Okay, all right. Tarrant is the first player, so your go.
Yes, and you get a couple of extra cards in hand and minerals to start the game because you're second.
Yep.
So the first step of any turn is upkeep, and upkeep doesn't really come into play yet. It's going to happen later when there are persistent cards. So we'll ignore that for now. We'll go into actions. So now I can take actions. I could play cards from my hand for their mineral cost. I can discard cards to gain mineral for them. And once I have some units on the board, I can spend command tokens on them. So I'm going to get some units on the board first. I'm going to play the troops. It has a cost of 1 mineral, and I summon a basic unit at my base. So my basic units are these ones around the bottom rim of my board. My only base is my headquarters, so I take one of those units, place it here. Now I'm going to use a command token to go mining, so I can do that to simply gain 1 mineral. I can get 1 mineral by mining anywhere on the board, but I can't take any more actions with that squad. So you can see I've done an action with a card, I've done an action with a command token. I don't have enough minerals left to play any of my other cards. I want to get my first base out as quickly as I can, which will need 4 minerals, so I'm going to try to set myself up to do that next turn. So I'm going to discard the weapon to get a mineral. So it's a general action. I can discard any card from my hand for 1 mineral. And at that point, there's nothing more that I want to do. I want to hang on to first base and get an extra mineral next turn to play it. So that is the end of my action phase. Now I go to income. I take back the command tokens from my squads. And then I gain a card. So I can choose one from the 6 basic piles. Everything within each of these stacks is the same. Or I can pick from the 3 that I've got in my personal player collection. Now these ones have some interesting tactical effects, but early on I want to consolidate. I want to get some cards which are going to allow me to get units out more quickly, do some standard kinds of things. So I'm going to start by taking Great Troops. This could let me summon up to 3 base units at a time. That goes into my discard pile. And then finally I gain incomes and benefits based on my number of bases. So I only have 1 base on the board. That means I gain 2 minerals. So now I have enough to build my base next turn. That's good. And I draw 3 cards from my deck to my hand. 1, 2, 3. You have a maximum hand limit of 6 at the end of your turn. And the end of my turn is what we've just reached.
So my go, I will play the troops as well. You've seen this before. Summoning my base unit. These are my base units. These are my elite unit. And these are my general unit. So I will you summon the base unit first to my headquarters, paying 1 resource mineral. And then the second turn, I'll also do the same thing. So again, paying mineral and then summoning it here. Then I use my command token to move these here. So there you go. But first, I will need 4 minerals. So I have 2 at the moment. I will discard these 2 cards in my hand to gain 2 minerals, and hence I can afford this. I have 3 options that will give me slightly asymmetric power, which involves the landmines or the barricade. Now I'm going to build the barricades first. I can see the barricade card here, which I can pick up at the end of my turn for next time. So I will build this one here. I will take the command token. I'm paying the mineral cost. Now the base that I've just built is an engineering depot, and the barricade can be moved with the squad and the landmine roll instead. So once I have the cards from my own market, then I'll be able to build the barricade, which is these tokens, and that will help me with defense. This is also explained in my player 8. When your unit receives damage, you can use the barricade to receive damage instead by 1 barricade. Will take 1 damage. Limit is 6. So basically, barricade will help me to defend myself, take the damage instead of my unit. And that's the end of my turn. I've used all cards. I will remove now the command token. And I will gain barricade card to my discard pile. I will discard this also and then replace all of them.
Yep, so you can always discard any number of those if you want to go through your deck more quickly to see the cards you want.
I'll just put it aside so that it's not confusing. So these are the ones available. I will draw back. I will take 3 cards. I have 2 in my deck. So I'll just shuffle these, including the barricade. and draw 1. Okay. And because I have 2 bases, then I gain 3 minerals. Haha. But you have 5. Tarrant.
Yes, I don't gain 5, but you have 2 bases, so slightly more income than I have.
Yep.
And so that's first turns down, next to my turn.
Mm-hmm.
I will begin by moving this squad, which is 1 unit, up to the forest. Now the forest takes a little bit of effort to get into. I have to discard a card to move a squad there. So I shall discard the general. I don't have the money to bring a general into play for a little while yet. I will now play my first base. So that will cost me the 4 minerals. And I'll be building my barrier generator. It's a good defensive one, particularly earlier in the game. I guess you've got a defensive one out as well.
Yes.
This will give me +2 shields.
Nice.
When I have fewer units in battle. So I actually have a lot of cards within my faction that benefit from being slimmer in numbers. So it's an interesting role to play. Then I shall add more troops. So this will cost me 1 mineral to add a basic unit to a base. I could use this base, but it would be joining a squad that's already activated. By coming down here, this is its own squad, so now I can activate that. And I'm just going to do it to mine. So that gives me 1 mineral. And my only other option, I could discard this card for a mineral, but I'm going to hang on to it. It's going to let me summon elite units, and I want to start getting some strong units into play. I'm going to hang on to that card. And we go to income. I remove command tokens from my squads. I'm going to take another Great Troops card, and I'll explain this to you here. There's a card up here called Combine, which is, if I get that later, it's going to allow me to combine basic units into an elite unit relatively cheaply. So that's going to be a good way for me to get my elite units into play. Again, this is something Stella can't see I've got access to because normally there would be a screen here. But yeah, I will plan on getting that. I'm going to discard these 2 just to see a few more to plan ahead for what comes after. Then I get my incomes. I now have 2 bases, so that will give me 3 minerals and to draw 3 cards. So 1 and shuffle and oops.
So always draw 3 up to 6.
Yep, 3 as long as I have 2 bases. If I get a 3rd base out, my card
4.
load will go to 4. So it is going
4.
to escalate as the game goes along. Your turn.
First action is just to summon the troop again, the basic one. Cost 1 mineral to put this one right here. Sorry, I put it right here. Then I'll use 1 command token to move 1 person to the forest. Now, there is a requirement, which is the hidden space, and I have to discard 1 card, which I am discarding this card to move there. Then I will activate these 2 to gain 1 minerals each, so 2 minerals for me extra. Then I have this barricade card, and I will pay 2 minerals to put 3 barricades. So that would be with my troops, and I'll put it right here. So it'll move around with my troops because of my upgrade of the base.
Yep, so a big defensive wall sitting there in the forest.
Yeah. Right, I'm removing all my tokens now that I finished my turn. I will gain 1 card from the central. I'll take Settle Down. This will let me build my 2nd base. So take that to my discard pile, along with the other discard pile. And I will gain minerals, which is still 3, and draw cards. So 3 cards, and that's my turn.
Big turn of building up for me here. So
Ooh.
I will discard first base. Again, this only lets you build your first base. After you have a base on the board, unless it gets destroyed, it's not helpful. So I'll discard that and get myself a mineral. Then I will play the troops for 1 mineral and great troops. Now, Great Troops lets me choose to pay 0, 2, or 4 minerals to summon 1, 2, or 3 basic units. I want to get them out quickly, so I'm going to spend 4. So that means across those 2 cards, I get to place 4 base units. And my headquarters is probably a little bit more threat at the moment, so that is where they're all going to go.
Everywhere,
Yes.
everyone.
Now, you do have a limit of 6 units per squad, so that's something that we need to think about. But there's no battles to engage in yet, so they're both going to mine some more minerals. So it doesn't matter that there's 5 units in there, they still only find 1 mineral.
They're partying too much. Meg party.
They do look like they're having fun together. I can't afford my 1 remaining card, so I'm going to hang on to that and go to my income phase. So we shall remove these. I will now gain that combine card that I was talking about. So that's going to go to my discard. And I'll also remove this one, flip 2 cards. And with 2 bases, get my income of 3 more minerals and 3 more cards. You.
All right, my turn. I will do this, summon these 2 troops. We've seen this before. I pay 1 minerals each. And I will summon these in my base or headquarters. And I will summon this. This is my elite unit. So I will summon my elite unit. Cost me 3 minerals. To summon this one. This bad boy. Woo! No, not really. Not yet, at least. So that's that.
And as we'll see when it comes to combat, you may have spotted all of these dice here. Although each of our basic units looks different, they're going to roll the basic dice, the elite units will roll better dice, and so forth.
And I'll put this here to mine, 2 minerals. And for this last one, I will move these here. Hacha! Haha. Now it's a very strong unit here. I mean, Tarrant looks a bit scary there. I mean, they're partying in that, but they're still deadly bots. So there it is. And that's the end of my turn. So I will take these back. I will gain this card. So this is it's called ship upgrade. So each card has got, most cards has got the top part and the bottom part. So far, we've only seen you for the top part. The bottom part is tactic, which will show you in battle. And this also has persistent effect. So this is something that you can summon and then you pay the upkeep costs to have it up on the board. Replenishing this. Now replenishing this deck, just draw 2 and
so still 2 bases, so
yeah.
3 cards, 3 minerals.
And 3 minerals. All right. Now it's Tarrant's turn.
All right, I have 2 objectives this turn. I want to start getting some elites into play as well, and I want to, I guess, defend and advance on the board. So I'm going to discard this troops card for a mineral, and then I'm going to play 2 the weapon cards. Those will cost me 3 minerals each.
Wow.
And each of them will let me get an elite unit into a base. So these are my elite units. They kind of look like the things from Arrival. I can put 1 there. That's a maximum sized squad now. And I'm going to put 1 up there in the forest. Now I'm going to move this squad. Move them all together. I'm going to sit there. It's going to be a deterrent, I think.
Well, you are Tarrant, so you are the Tarrant. Really bad joke. Sorry, everyone.
And I would like to move these guys to higher ground up into the plateau, but it costs 2 cards to move to the plateau because of how high it is. So I can't quite afford that yet. But hopefully you don't have a lot of incentive to go up there. We'll see. And I'll do that next turn. However, I can use this squad to extract another mineral. I'm going to grab Hex Gate and discard these to see a few more. Still have 2 bases, So 3 minerals and 3 cards. 1, 2.
As usual, it's a basic deck building. You just recycle your deck if you don't have it.
And 3. I remove my command tokens. Your turn.
I will play my general, my first general now. I have 3 options, 3 generals, and they all have asymmetric powers. I'm going to choose Claire, and she is this one. So they all look different as well from each other. And I will put it on my base, which I will put here. Next, with my last 2 cards, I'm going to discard these 2 to move these here. So in this area, you have to discard 2 cards to move into. Now this is high, the highest from all of the area, and it may have an advantage in battle, or it will have the advantage in battle. Put my command token here, and was paying the cost for Claire. That was 4 for general. Then I'll get a mineral here, and that is the end of my turn. So I will take this 2. Get a card. This is the same one that I got before, so I'm going to take this one. I like the look of it. And I'll discard this 2 and reveal 2 more. I gain 3 minerals, and I draw 3 cards. All right.
All right, enough consolidating. Let's have some fun.
Let's do it.
I will begin by using my combine actions. This is the one I described before. I spend X minerals, so that will be 1, and then X plus 1 times I can change 2 basic units in the same hex to an elite unit. So 4 basic units here are going to return to my supply and be replaced with 2 elites. So I get fewer dice but better, and remember I have some tactics which combo with having fewer units. That's beneficial to me. And then I get to do 2 damage to an adjacent hex. Now I can't actually pick the forest because forests have the hidden effect, which means you can only suffer damage there if it's in a combat. But I'm going to attack you up on the plateau. So I'm actually going to waste 1 of the damage, but I'm going to apply 2 damage to the adjacent plateau.
So general has 3 health, and the base one has got 1. So 1 returns to the base. Now there's a logo for mineral here, which means I get a mineral. Yay! Consolation prize.
Yes, there's an interesting consolation aspect to this game. As your units return, you are going to get benefits. There's card cycling, and particularly if a general returns and defeated in battle, you get to trash or destroy a low-value card from your hands. So some interesting things will go on as we get into battles and start gaining these rewards. Next, I'm going to battle. So this little squad here is going to attack your general.
Ta-da!
And so now it's finally time to see a battle in action. So we gain dice for our units. I have a basic and elite unit, so I get a basic and elite die.
Well, I have a general and I have a general die, 1.
Yes.
But
I am the attacker. So I also get the attacker die. And the attacker die, these are prototype dice, by the way. We will zoom in on them and show you what the icons are. But the attacker die will add between 1 and 3 hits. So it's quite beneficial to be the attacker.
you guys such bullies. I'm little Claire. On my own, you're attacking me.
Now there are some tactical benefits to understand, and we should look through what these are. In the forest, usually speaking, I would have an extra defense and an extra hit, while the plateau has an extra 2 defense and an extra hit, but the plateau gets to ignore the target's terrain bonus. So I actually do not get my extra defense or extra hit, but you get 2 defense, 1 hit.
And this is per squad, not per person.
Furthermore, because you're on the plateau is higher. Remember, we've seen these few changes in elevation. If you're the higher placed squad, you get to re-roll 1 of your dice. Then we check to see any tactical advantages we have. So I have this base, if you recall, if I have fewer units in the battle, I get +2 defense, but I don't. It's 2 to 1 here.
I have nothing, none of my barricades here. I just have the plateau's bonus, which is 2 defense and 1 attack.
So let's clear all these unused dice out and let's roll.
All right. So I have 1 attack and 1 TT's tactic.
And I have 5 attacks and no defense. So earlier on, we briefly alluded that every card has 2 parts, the action at the top and then the tactics at the bottom. So now, every T that you roll, you get to play 1 tactic card. The attacker plays all face down first, then the defender, and then we reveal and resolve. So I had none. You may now play 1 tactic.
I can re-roll my die, but I'm pretty happy with this. So 1 attack and 1 tactic. I'm going to play this tactic card, which is this barricade card. The tactic is that if either I'm on mine, I'm not on mine, and if they are on forest, which they are, then I get 1 defense and 3 attack.
Yes, so my squad is here on the forest, so that allows you to gain those bonuses. And so with that, we resolve hits on both sides. So I did 5 hits, you had 3 defense. So you would suffer 2 hits.
Yep.
General can sustain 3, so nothing happens. You dealt me 5 hits, I had no defense. So I'm going to have to start taking hits here. So
sorry, Tarrant.
my basic unit takes 1 hit. My elite takes 2. My base takes 3, so my base just survives.
Yeah.
So this was a terrible combat for me. So I get no benefits for this return because both of the units go into empty slots.
So a battle just over where Claire was in it. She's the only one actually. And she has a passive. After the battle, you may move this squad. So I'm a squad of my own, so I just move. I'm going to move here. Ta-da! Now it has maximum of 6 capacity.
And now, having a look at what's out here, I was hoping to be in a good position to attack, but I really don't want to do that right now, if for no other reason that I only have 1 card left in hand. So I'm going to be quite weak on tactics right now, but I'm about to redraw, whereas you're not. So hopefully if you attack me, I'll have more helpful tactics to play. So these spaceships are just going to mine some mineral. We will remove the command tokens. I'm going to add a new card to my discard pile and replenish. And this is another one of those cards that can have upkeep. I could play sustain module on a turn for 2 minerals and then keep it there turn after turn for 2 minerals. And this would be helpful. It would give me +1 hit point on all of my basic and elite and general units.
Okay.
Maybe stay a bit more alive, but that's discard pile for now. I still have 2 bases, although for how long, I don't know. I gain 3 minerals and 3 cards. And it's your turn.
Because of the battle, I'm 1 card down. That's not fun, but I still want to try to attack Tarrant because I have bigger units. I mean, bigger amount of units. I think I can take Tarrant. We'll see. Let's do the big battle, shall we? I mean, not that you have any choice.
Well, true.
Let's do this. 1 command token here. Time for the big battle now. So I've put my command token. I will draw a die. So I've got 4 basic units. I have 1 elite unit, this one, and then 1 general, which is this die. And because I'm the attacker, I've got this black die.
And I have 3 elite units. I also get +2 defense from my base because I have fewer units than you.
And I start with 1 defense and 1 attack from this terrain. And I also have 2 barricades which absorb hit. Let's roll. All right, so I have a total of 6 attack and 4 defense and 1 tactic card, which I will play.
And I'm currently on 3 attack, 2 defense. And I think I'm going to, with 1 tactic card, I'm going to focus on defense here. I'm going to be decimated.
All right.
Let's reveal. I've got an extra 2 defense on this.
Very good. And I have ship upgrade. So you are in desert. So I have extra 1 defense and 3 attack.
Oh dear.
So I have 9 attack and 5 defense.
Righto, so my 3 attacks do not penetrate your 5 defense, and your 9 attacks do 5 hits to me. So I'm going to lose 2 of my 2 hit point elite units. I do get 1 benefit of drawing and discarding a card.
Yep, goes off your, when you return it.
Yep, so I'll do that. All right. And then I just got this 1 lonely unit left there. So I'm in a bit of trouble here.
That's what you get for bullying me, ha! No, not really. No, that's nothing to do with the game.
However, I still defend this place. So Claire's ability lets you move, but because I'm here, you still can't move in. You have to completely wipe me off a space before you can move in. So you can see that it's still a fairly complex battle of attrition here. You still are going to move slowly around the board trying to take over these bases.
All right, I'll move Claire back here.
And so although that is in the middle of a turn, we're going to finish that 1 round playthrough there.
And here are the 2 other factions. Comes in the tray. This is still prototype copy, but I have the Hive here. Look at this. This reminds me of Alien movie. So you've got these little minis, little basic units.
Spider things, yes.
Who do you have there?
I've got some archers. I've got these more pointy ships, big ships here. So yeah, 4 factions in this game. And it will play between 2 and 4 players, and you'll have a bigger map when you play it more players. The aim is to have all 4 of your bases on the board, or to destroy, in the 2-player game, destroy your opponent's main base. And you can see from the game we played there, you really do have to build up your defenses and your tactics. You've got to be confident when you go into attack, otherwise you'll end up in a weak position like I did there.
Yes, indeed. I also want to share you the artwork. These artwork are done by the artists, by the publisher, and we'll put all the information about the game and the link to the project page in the video description. And they have a limited painted edition, hand-painted by their team, by the publisher's team, only 100 sets available in the crowdfunding. So exciting. Hopefully you enjoyed that. If you do, please give it a like. Let us know what you think, and hopefully you have a wonderful day. And thanks for watching. Bye.